The NFB of Virginia Fairfax Chapter invited the Blind Muse Foundation to a community event where they connect and educate the sighted community about the blind and low vision. On the screen, a round table with a Braille writer along with an assortment of illustrated children's books with Braille cells embossed, Curious George, The Cat and the Hat, The Night Before Halloween, to name just a few. In a rooftop recreation room with large windows, standing in front of several round tables with people seated, a white female with short curly salt and pepper hair wearing a light teal green blouse and beige slacks with a small wireless microphone pinned at her collar.
I am Christine Grassman, as many of you in the room know. I am a resident here at Skyline House. I'm also the president of the Fairfax Chapter of the National Federation of the Blind of Virginia. And every October, the National Federation of the Blind of Virginia, the entire affiliate, our chapters do specific things. We have community events because it is what's called Blindness Equality Achievement Month. We can go out into the sighted community and let them ask us questions, let them see how we do things, so that people are less inclined to be hesitant about asking questions, so that we can let people know how we get things done. And that improves community involvement. It improves the possibilities of employment, because if you meet a blind person and you know how we get things done, you pass that on to someone else, and that someone else might be an employer.
The camera pans the room. Seated are a group of individuals of various ages and ethnicities, listening intently as Christine speaks. Facing the audience, a white female with strawberry blonde hair pulled back in a partial ponytail, wearing a short-sleeved pink blouse and dark pants, holding a small canvas bag, seated at a round table. In front of her, a Braille slate and stylus on top of some 4-inch by 6-inch note cards.
I'm Leah Jacobson. I am from Florida.
Another one?
When I was little, my mom noticed something was wrong with my eyes. I was about a year old, and I was like running into walls when I was learning how to walk and stuff. And she took me to 5 doctors who said I was lazy.
Oh my.
Because I could still point out letters, because I knew my letters already, and I could still point out colors. And so what more do you expect from a 1.5-year-old, 2-year-old? And finally got me to a doctor in New York who created the machine to diagnose my condition. And he diagnosed me when I was 3, just before I turned 3 years old. So it took a 1.5 years to get me diagnosed. And he basically said, there's nothing we can do for you, but here's the Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind. And they provided a list of toys that were really helpful for blind kids.
Facing the audience, Shannon Kalu, a black female with a short bob, wearing dark sunglasses, a black shirt with a flowing overshirt with black and tan stripes.
Well, I'm originally from North Carolina, and I moved here about a year ago. My family knew right away something was going on with my vision, so I got glasses probably at 2. Oh, wow. And they were lost in the sandbox at daycare for a little bit, but we were able to find them again, so that's good. And I didn't use Braille ever. I just had very large print because I'm very nearsighted. And then in a big room like this, where there's lots of light coming in, it kind of makes it really hard for me to see well, because there's so much glare. Do any of you have trouble with glare, like if you're in a really bright place? Yeah, so a room like this is gonna, like, the farther you get away, you're just like whited out into the background for me. And so I use large print, not low vision print, but I use large print, and I brought some to kind of show the different fonts that people use, and that's pretty much how I got through school and even now. But vision changes over time, so I did learn Braille, but like I told you guys earlier, I don't use it very much, so I have to really like go very slowly if I want to try to read it again. So my goal right now is to use it more often so I can have it again, because if I'm in an elevator and I can't see the number, I'm trying to figure out what is that, is that an 8 or whatever it might be, but the door's already closed and I haven't pressed the number, and then I can't see it, so I'm trying to go down there and find it. So yeah, I need to learn the Braille again.
A white female with long dirty blonde hair, wearing a black headband and a green V-neck t-shirt and a wireless microphone.
Yeah, hi. So my name is Julie, and I was actually born blind with glaucoma. So it runs in my family. I had an aunt who had it, and Some other people on my mom's side have had it. I have a cousin who also has it. So my parents kind of knew what was going on when I was born, and my eyes probably looked a little funny. So I was always fated to learn Braille. Grew up reading Braille, using a cane, and then getting guide dogs. I got my first guide dog when I was 17 because I love dogs and I love working dogs, and it's one of my favorite things. So there's that. And my dog is Xavier, or Mr. X, as we call him. I love it. And he's a very good boy. He's young, though, so if he does something stupid, I'll just tell you he's young, and I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't let people pet him, in part because he is so young and he loves people. He's a Labrador.
So I have one of these interesting cards that people have tended to like. It has different kinds of vision loss that people can go through and different diagnoses that people have, and a way to kind of emulate that by just putting it over your eye. And sometimes people are pretty interested in seeing that. I also have some different pens that if you just need a pen that's a little bolder, you know, sometimes you're writing and it just seems really light and you're like, I can't really see that as well. I have a few that are bolder if people just want to take a look and just see what that's like.
Seated, Christine is holding a piece of paper with black print, raised dots, and black bars. In front of her is a Braille writer.
You know what? Why don't we hand out the alphabet cards?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah,
Let's
I'm sure everyone wants those.
okay.
And one thing I'll say while you hand those out, the alphabet cards are really helpful in starting to learn Braille.
Todd,
But if
you
you're
wanna-
learning Braille after the alphabet, then you have to learn
Do you think
contractions.
that's enough? That should be enough, right?
And so to make Braille fit, I mean, it takes up a lot of space, but to make it fit more quickly and to be able to read more quickly, there are contractions. So the letter TH is one symbol, and the letter ER is one symbol. And so it's a lot of learning other than just the alphabet
Right.
to learn Braille.
Yeah.
That's to shorten it, because otherwise Braille would take up an incredible amount of space. Now the irony is that when computers came along, there needed to be a one-to-one correspondence between letters and, say, text attributes. Like if you wanted to show bold type, okay, how does a person know when they're reading something that something's in bold type, or that you have to bold it? The alphabet cards are often used just to, quite frankly, they're usually used to introduce sighted people to Braille. This print card, for example, is not something that you would typically use with a blind student.
5 women and 1 man seated at a round table, all intently looking at beginner Braille cards. In the background, a roof with sand-colored gravel sits below large windows looking out to a tall apartment building rising out of the greenery.
It's almost 3 o'clock. If you could just let us know what you thought of the class.
Amazed at how fast Christine printed my name. It was unbelievable. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm also fascinated by the fact, I mean, I don't even know how many words I read per minute. I'm a slow reader, so when you said 300, that like blows my mind.
That's silently.
Thank you so much. I found it very interesting. I'm just curious, what would you say is one of the most challenging aspects of daily life?
Honestly, I find the most challenging thing about being blind, and this is really, really true, is other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just being honest. There's a lot of misunderstanding. People will walk up to you and not just ask you, do you need help? They will grab you.
Yeah.
And you would never walk up to a sighted person and just grab them, even if you thought they might need help, right? People just don't do that. They might reach out and grab someone if they thought they're tripping or something like that. But for the most part, nobody will come up to an average person and grab them. There's kind of this attitude that if we have a disability, we are not the same in the sense of being the same as you and everybody else. We almost like it's okay to act differently with us.
You know, we can all probably relate to each other on this, but I'm in kind of the thick of it right now. She's almost 4. And there are things that I do to keep her safe that are a little bit different from what other parents do. You know, when we're at the playground, I might put bells on her ankle, like a little thing with it looks like a collar, but that's not really right. It's just so they stay on our ankle so I can hear her. Or I might like call out to her, Ember, where are you? Every time we go to the playground, I say, do you remember the rules? And now she's older, she can say, I have to answer you. And I said, yes. And if you don't answer me, we have to leave, because she has to know that that's like serious, because I can't see her. So she has to, hear me. And so most people are really good about, I have this rule and this is what we do, but some people are like kind of odd about it. And it's, my way of keeping her safe.
I want to thank all of you so much for being here today. This was a fantastic discussion, and I think a lot of you learned a lot about Braille, and we had some excellent questions, and I'm really pleased with this, and I certainly hope that we can do some follow-up on technology, perhaps on orientation and mobility. Any other questions, particularly our educators who joined us today. If you would like to learn more, absolutely feel free to reach out to the NFB of Virginia Fairfax Chapter and our other members who helped us today. Thank you so much again.
If you would like information about learning Braille, connecting with the blind and low vision community, or to bring an educational program like this to your establishment, please email president@nfbv.org.